Hi there, it's Lynette Chandler from Thrive Anywhere. Today I want to show you how to prepare your files so that you can upload your journals and planners to lulu.com so that you can have it printed as a physical print product that you can sell, or you can order and print and give it away to your clients or your high ticket clients and so on and forth, whatever application that you want to use. So what I have here is one of our products in the PowerPoint format. And this is the marketing 365 marketing PowerPoint. Now, if I open this PowerPoint, you will see that it actually includes a cover. Let me just first preface this by saying that our products are primarily created for print at home, or what some people would call printables. This means they are not prepared for a commercial printer. There is a very big difference between printing at home with your printer, or even an office printer, than having it printed by a commercial printer like Lulu. So all our products are sized, the margins and everything are sized for people to use as printable items or as digital lead magnets. And because of that, you will need to, to expend some elbow grease to get this file prepared and ready. And depending on the design, you may have to do a little bit more than what you're used to. And some you may have to do less, some designs will have to do more. So it kind of really depends. But I just want to make sure that you understand that the products that you download, you cannot just, the PDF that we supply you is mainly for you to sell as a printable item, or as a digital item that you sell the digital item, or you give away that digital item. So, and that's why we're doing this video, right? Okay, so the first thing you want to note is that when you take a file, for example, for this PowerPoint file, you can export this, but usually when you're doing a print item, the cover and the inner pages are two separate files. So that's the first thing I would do. So I want to close this first, and I'm going to actually duplicate this file so I have two copies. And then one of them I'm just going to name inner page. And that's what we're focusing on, because the cover, we're going to remove the cover, and I basically created a copy because I want to preserve my main copy. So that's always a good thing to do when you're modifying any of your files. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to open the inner file, and the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of this this particular slide. I'm going to delete this, because again, when you take this to the printers, they don't want the covers. And especially Lulu, you can actually design your covers on Lulu itself. They have a cover designer, and I really would highly encourage you to design your own covers anyway. That way, people, the saying, judging a book by the cover. People do judge the book by the cover. So even though you are printing a journal or planner, people do, it's considered a book, and people do judge it by the cover. And if they see you have the same, and I'm talking specifically about printed items right now, okay? If they see that you have an exact same printed cover as somebody else, then that might affect how they view you, right? I definitely highly encourage you to change the covers, have somebody design your cover, or even change the colors at the very least. to something else. But today we're not going to focus on that. We're just going to focus on the inner pages at this time, because that's really is where the bulk of the work is. Now, in order to have something printed, you need to kind of know where your margins are. And also there's something called bleed. So what is bleed? Bleed is basically, you see this page right here, where I have this bottom border. I call it a border, but this box at the bottom here, it sits up all the way to the edge of the page. Now, when a printer is printing something, what happens is that they need you to extend this blue box further beyond the page size, so that they can cut it and it actually looks like what you see here on screen. Otherwise, if not, what will happen is that you will have a white band at the bottom and your design just doesn't look right. Okay, so I have the same issue right here. Okay, so this right here, this is kind of bumping up to the edge of the screen here, which is what I want it to be, bumping up to the edge of the page. But, and this is where I would need to prepare the file for a bleed. So I have actually prepared, and you can request this. So I set up what this file here for me to easily see what the bleed requirements are for Lulu. And really, it's a text box, and I can just show you this text box. I'm just going to click Format Pane. So this margin with bleed right here, the outermost one, is basically, if you want to do this, you can go ahead and, you know, open up a PowerPoint file and actually, and by the way, I'm preparing this file for 8.5 by 11 size, which is the US letter size. So according to Lulu, Lulu's recommendations, it should extend about 1/4 inch on all sides for comb binding. And again, these are very, very specific instructions. If you are binding with different binding options, then the sizes will change. So you need to pay attention to that. And Lulu does have a guide. But usually planners and journals are coil bound. Most people prefer coil bound. So that's what I've set it as. So which means it has a 1/4 inch margin extending beyond the page size, as you see here, right? You see the page right there, and this is above the page size. And then what I have here, the extra margin is 10 inch by 7.5 inch. This is just extra so that if I want to, I can, or rather, this is like the absolute margin. Anything inside of this extra margin box will print properly. And then where I have the safe text, this is the absolute safe, in the sense that really anything between these two boxes is okay to print. But if I want for better visibility or better user experience, I will try to put it inside this white text. But anything inside of this extra margin really should work. So the key here, really all I need is this box and this box. So I'm going to copy this right here. And then I am going to go to the master. I'm going to, let's see here, I believe it's layout and, okay, where is this? View, that's right, view, slide master. And then I'm going to go up to the main master here, and I'm going to paste my guidelines here. I'm going to paste them here, and then I'm going to make sure that they are aligned properly, center and middle, which they should be. So now when I go back on most of the pages I see here, I see the guidelines, what I'm supposed to be working with. All right. So now I can take a look at this and see, okay, where am I? See, all this fits inside this extra margin box, so I'm good on that. All right. The only thing that really I need to do here is, if I go to this, and I have to go page by page, is this box right here and this blue box. Now this blue box is in the master page, so I'm going to go and do all the master pages first so that I can tackle multiple pages at one time. So okay, right here. So I see this here. Whoops. What I need to do here is I need to extend this dark blue box, just the dark blue box where the color is, all the way out to the edge over there. And then I'm going to do the same for that as well. Okay. And I want it to extend to the edge of the margin with bleed area. So I'm going to do that for every single one here. Okay, and if you go beyond that, that's fine too. It doesn't matter as long as it covers at least, whoops, as long as it covers at least that area, we should be good. Okay, and let me just make it a little easier for me to work here. That's the dark blue. I want to go there. And that's the light blue. Go all the way. So that's what we're doing. Again, that's the dark blue. And that's the light blue. Now, even though it looks like it's much larger than it should be, but when they cut it off, what happens is that at the printers, they are going to take their slicing knife, I call it a knife, but it really is a knife. And what they're going to do is that they're going to cut the page to size, and when they cut it, it will look exactly like what it's designed to be. And that's why you need the bleed. The bleed is extra. The design goes above and beyond the page, so that when they cut it, you have this nice design that goes all the way to the edges of the page. Okay, and I think that's it. I don't have bleeds for those. Okay, so that's good. And now I close my master, and you can see all these pages. The bottom, we're just looking at the bottom here now. They all go beyond the bleed, and that's fine. I know I've done a little bit more over on some of these, and that's fine. Like I said, yeah, I overdid that. I mean, if it bothers you, you can go back and change that. Really, if you wanted to, you can go back and change that, but that's fine as long as it covers that bleed area. Okay. Now, going back here, so remember earlier I said I have this piece, this too must go over, and I can do this here because this is because this here is not on the master page. So what else do I see? Okay, this sits inside the margin, so I'm fine there. Yep, that sits inside the margin, so I don't really have anything. Oh, that sits inside the margin. Yep, that one should sit inside. So I think that's like the only layout with the bleeds other than. So I know that particular page is also repeated in. Let me go here real quick. Look at all this. Motion gap weeks. Okay, maybe it's not repeated. Quarter review. Yeah, maybe we're done. Okay, all right, that's it. So it's really only this key review page. There's only one. So now that I've done that, I can go back to view and slide master, and I can remove this, or if I want to, I can just go to the selection pane, and I can just hide this it's probably better to delete it to keep your file. So now all this extends above, and that's good. Then what you want to do too is, okay, this is a little outside of the screen, but for Mac, and I think this is in a different spot for Windows, but on the Mac PowerPoint where it says you go up to the top ribbon here, not the ribbon up here. If I go to File, Compress, I want to make sure that I do 330, and then I do not want to delete cropped areas of pictures. I'm going to leave that, and then I'm going to click OK. And then from now you can just export this as, save this file as a PDF, and then you can import into a place like Lulu, and it will cut off. Now you won't get a white banding on the sides here where your images or your design spills over to the side of the page. So in a nutshell, that's how you prepare your file for Lulu.